Kobold, it's one D&D playtest time!
Yes, Gator, this playtest includes a new version of Cleric with a new iteration of life domain subclass, some spells, and different species, and of course new rules for the glossary. But today we'll be talking about the spells. Welcome to Pack Tactics.
Hocus pocus!
Before we start, this video is sponsored by Mech Arena. It's a PvP arena shooter for mobile and PC where giant robots blow each other up. The games are super quick and action-packed. Look, it's Neymar. He's the strongest pilot in the game and you can get him for free. All you have to do is play the game on 7 different days between now and December 18th. He greatly boosts your damage with missiles and assault weapons, and he lets you sprint for longer. He's pretty optimal. Right now, there's a special Mech Arena Cup happening to celebrate a worldwide football event. Basically, you can get an exclusive pilot named Neymar MVP as part of the celebration. He's only available for this special event, so this is your only opportunity to get him. All you have to do is take part in the special derby event that's live right now. It ends on the 18th of December. If you wish to get started optimally, you can use my personal link or QR code to play and get a free starter pack worth 15 bucks. It comes with an amateur crate, 300 A coins, and a pulse cannon 4. I recommend playing this on PC rather than mobile because mouse. If you wish to kill Gator in-game, here's his mech ID. So what are you waiting for? Getting all the best stuff in the game is currently super duper easy. You better hurry, the event ends soon. Let's go through this alphabetically.
But Kobold, that doesn't even make sense!
I know, but for some odd reason, this document talks about spells, attack, climb, speed, creature types, and even more all at once. There's no subheadings, and it's all alphabetically. How did they think this was even close to okay? This is suboptimal. Anyways, I will start with the cantrips because I think that makes more sense. In the last playtest for expert classes, the PDF also included a new version of guidance, which looked like this. Now in this playtest, we have this. They removed the limitation and now it's a no-brainer pickup that will always be used and will increase the average roll for anyone. I'm sorry, but this is just silly. You might say you can't always be within 10 feet of people, but that is actually a pretty big range. I'm looking at you, paladins. Please just kill the cantrip or make it a feature for rogue. This actually made me like the 5e version more because, you know, it needs concentration on the spell, making it a bit harder to use if you want to keep concentrating on other spells. Next up is resistance. This makes another no-brainer pickup. There is a bit more competition here compared to guidance, as you'll most likely be casting this in combat, making it compete with shield and absorb elements. However, we don't know what those spells are going to look like in the future, so who knows? Resistance allows you to help your allies as well, unlike the other two spells I mentioned, and works on non-damaging effects. One last thing I like to mention regarding these spells. The spellcasting section in the player's handbook says, the effects of different spells add together while the durations of those spells overlap. The effects of the same spell cast multiple times don't combine, however. They are instantaneous spells, so their durations wouldn't overlap if multiple people cast them to help one person. Let's move on. Aid. Here is where I have mixed opinions. I made a video about Aid not too long ago. I'll link it in the description. However, they have now changed the spell to just be temporary hit points. I totally get it. It's clear to players. However, I like the uniqueness of its 5e version, which allows you to bring up unconscious allies. But this is not necessarily a bad direction. It's just a different one from mine. You know? It also works on 6 people instead of 3. Next up is Catnap. I mean, Prayer of Healing. Really though, this is closer to this than Prayer of Healing in 5e. It's basically Catnap on Catnip, and honestly, I don't like this spell. On my first overview, this looked pretty awesome because if you played like a paladin with warlock levels, you would be casting this spell to regain your pack slots that you used. However, you can only be affected once per long rest. So that's just another thing to track, and that makes it not so very effective. In 5e, you can cast Prayer of Healing multiple times to heal your allies. You can't do that anymore. Both the short rest part and the healing part are limited for some reason. None of these should be limited. Gaining more short rests in a day really isn't a big deal. If players really want to take a short rest, like many short rests, they can already do that. And now for the thing you guys have been waiting for. Spiritual Weapon. The two big changes here are that it now requires concentration and it has better upcasting. I thought this was very weird, so then I looked at the video and Crawford said it was very strong. I have heard this statement before, but it's so wrong. And let me explain why. Gator, why do we kill enemies?
So we don't die.
Correct. And why do we use our resources to kill enemies?
To reduce the chance we die. If they don't get to do stuff because they are dead, we survive.
Very, very true. If I cast Fireball, I am trying to reduce damage on myself by killing the enemies. I am now going to relate things. Listen very closely, young Padawan Gator.
But Kobold, it's Lord Gator. Remember, I got lordship.
Yeah, we gotta talk about that lordship later, alligator. Anyways, if I cast Spiritual Weapon and damage an opponent, I, in essence, reduce the damage I take. But its actual impact is so small that it tends to be in the realm of the amount of damage Healing Word would heal for a second level spell slot. I talk in depth about why casting Healing Word on a conscious ally is not worth it in my How to Heal video. So you guys should know that this is not a worthwhile impact. You are better off keeping the spell slot for later. Thank you, Moonsilver, for the math. It's a bit messy and might be hard to understand, but I'll link the math nonetheless. Some other problems include the very limited amount of movement the weapon has, making it hard to hit anyone, and the very strong opposition like telekinetic feats. So what do I think about the changes? Well, I love them. It might make people stop casting this spell. I'm joking, by the way, but anyways, the spell has always been bad. I might cover the spell in the future if you're interested. Last spell, Banishment. In 5e, Banishment is a spell I don't usually pick up at all, but I do consider it from time to time. It's a single target spell that may or may not take someone out of the fight. However, this spell was hit hard. Enemies now have a saving throw after every one of their turns. Without seeing how other spells change, I would never cast this. It's also really funny to me that there is a chance for them to go to another plane at the end of the spell still. Let's look how often that happens. If you have a DC 15 for the saving throw and the enemy has a +2 to the save, they have a 40% chance to succeed. So what are the chances they don't succeed on the saving throw 10 times? It's 1 in 165 tries.
Well, Kobold, get better dice.
Gator, they're the ones rolling. Anyways, conclusion. They are nerfing the wrong things so far, and some of the changes are just weird. Changing aid is probably a good thing, but I personally don't like it. End of video. I'll be releasing 5 1D&D videos, by the way. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.